Now to a story that you'll only see on 12 News. What was supposed to be a beautiful tattoo of a religious symbol nearly turned deadly for a Phoenix woman.
Stephanie Roberts said she found a tattoo artist on social media who appeared to have professional experience. But now she thinks the new ink put her in the hospital for a week.
12 News journalist Tiani Jadaling is joining us now in studio. She spoke with Roberts and has details on exactly what sent her to the emergency room. Tiani?
Caribe Mark, Stephanie Roberts tells me it was a tattoo of the Virgin Mary from her wrist to her elbow that sent her to the emergency room and through 2 surgeries. She was just released from the hospital today, but she says the pain hasn't stopped. This is what Stephanie Roberts' tattoo looked like just after it was completed. Days later, it turned into this. She said it had blisters and felt like a severe burn.
I think my arm was burned by the end of it because it was super red. It felt like a 3rd-degree burn was like brewing on my hand, like on my all right here.
This was her first time getting a tattoo with an artist she found on Instagram, an artist who goes by the name Ruby G Inks. Roberts tells me she was under the impression the artist was working out of a salon, but that wasn't the case.
I was told it was a studio. So I get out of the car, I go up to her, I introduce her, I'm nice, you know, I'm like, hi, like, I thought you were in a studio. And she was like, yeah, my dad made me a studio back here in a shipping container.
The Phoenix resident says she had already paid a $200 deposit beforehand and didn't think she would have any issues with an artist with a good portfolio. But after the tattoo was completed and a couple days had passed, symptoms only got worse.
I had the chills, I had fever, I was throwing up. This was swelling so bad, it was super red. I just did not feel like myself, and this was not normal for a tattoo.
She eventually admitted herself into the hospital.
As soon as my hands started turning purple and compartment syndrome started kicking in, my fascia of my muscles started to get so swollen that it cut off the circulation in my in my hand.
It wasn't just compartment syndrome she was facing. Roberts says doctors told her she had sepsis and cellulitis, something medical experts say is not common with tattoos but can be deadly.
This is the body's overwhelming and potentially deadly response to the infection. So I understand it may have led to compartment syndrome, which is a very dangerous situation when there's so much pressure in the limb, and sometimes that could threaten the blood supply and the nervous supply, and that can lead to permanent damage.
On top of battling pain and undergoing 2 surgeries, the Phoenix woman got another surprise while she was in the hospital.
My hospital ER doctor came in and he was like, so you did test positive for a pregnancy? And I was like, no way.
A surprise she hoped would have been a happy one, but it wasn't as expected.
That that should have been special, you know? And it wasn't. So I'm like trying to stay positive about it, but like this whole situation has been like really bad.
Stephanie Roberts tells 12 News she was communicating with the tattoo artist the entire process and has asked for a refund for the $1,200 tattoo. Roberts says over the next several weeks she'll continue to take antibiotics and visit doctors throughout her healing process. As for the tattoo artist, her attorney says they can't provide any comment at this time, but may provide further details at a later date. Live in studio, I'm Tiani Jadaling, 12 News.